What is up, comic fan? Welcome to the Legion of Comics. It is Sunday night. That means this is at week's end, the spoiler field look back at this week in comics, and so much more. There's a lot to talk about tonight, and we've got the entire tripod here to break this past week down. So before we get into any of that, check this out. So let's go ahead and bring in the guests as always, or not even the guests, the co-host. We got none other than Ryan, aka New Guy, aka Man on the Run. How are you?
Man on the Run. I'm doing well.
And as always, to be our power bottom, we have our heterosexual life partner from the Great White North. What is up?
Okay, I've been called worse. What's up? It's great to be here on this day of celebrating hope. That's good.
Yes.
Yes.
It is a very hopeful day. We're hopeful
yes.
that this. Oh, that's gorgeous. Oh, you
Yeah,
bastard.
nice. This is the jock variant of Action 1000. But yeah.
So Chris is going to be giving that away tonight to one lucky co-host.
It's so not true. It's going to happen.
What issue number is that? That's gorgeous.
That's 1000. Action 1000.
I love it.
The Forbidden Planet exclusive.
Very nice.
But yeah. It's a special day for comic history.
All right, well, let me go and flex on somebody. Do I have something in arm's reach so I can flex with? I typically do, right? I might not. There's just books all around me.
You can, you got literally a statue there. You got.
I know, just like all the fingers up.
Like right
Action
here.
Comics 1 and a 9.9, the 233. What is that? A Hot Toys. But this is the most recent pickup that I think this video is going to go out Wednesday, but spoiler for those 8 people here. Since it is National Superman Day, just got in that gorgeous Action Comics
beautiful.
419 with the iconic Neil Adams photo background cover, and it's the first appearance of the Human Target. Boom!
Nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I wonder, would we be here today if Superman wasn't created so many years ago?
We'd probably be on Mars by now.
That's the best I can do at the moment. So
yes, and those are actually available for pre-order right now at Big Time Collectibles. I'm pumped for that. That's issue 4 of World's Finest, where we're getting that new character that's going to be pumped. I can't remember what it's called.
The character?
Yeah, that character that's featured on the cover.
We got a name for it already?
I think there was on the listing.
Oh. I'm excited for it, whatever it is. It's got to be like Batman and Superman and Green Lantern involved in that whole thing. So I'm excited. It's going to be sick.
Yeah. Trending Batman Superman World's Fusion variant is just what the Fusion, I think, is what the
Fusion
variant. So I don't know if that's the character, just the name of the cover or whatever. But
Mike could be right.
Let's say hey to the people in the chat. We had Remy Q up in here early at 8:30. So it looks like when people got that first ping notification, he popped in. But what is up? Chop and Drop is up in the chat. Nick's Kicks and Comics, how's it going? Let's do this. Digger Jim is up in there. We got Heavy. Time is a man-made construct. We are Legion and on time. Is time man-made? A discussion for another day. Look at that. We have the Superman custom emojis. It is National Superman Day today for those that don't know. So hit that custom emoji.
Yeah.
Ghost Rider was just on Duncanville. Not sure what that means. Hey, what is going on, Becky?
Those are all words I vaguely recognize.
I know Ghost Rider.
I know Ghost Rider.
We are Legion and we are # at weeks in. Yes, we are. Speaking of hetero life mates, today is Jay's B-Day. Oh, from Jay and Silent Bob? I did not know that. That's awesome. Evening comic book fam. Hope you're having a great weekend. My weekend couldn't be better because it's over. It's not usual. You're like rushing to get into the work week, but that's where I'm at this point.
Well,
Just let Chris have his moment. I think he had his moment. Mine wasn't. So Mine
I
was.
can tell you, I'm glad we're at the end of this week because it's been we've been under a heat wave advisory the last 3 days. It's been like 102 with high humidity, so an heat index of like 106 the last 3 days in a row. It's been pretty miserable.
Yeah, we had 95 humidity here this morning. It was.
Excuse me. Okay, Google.
Yeah. So we're without
That's
the heat
102
like
index.
4,000
Fahrenheit
degrees
and Celsius.
We're having one of those this week. So Wednesday we're
Oh my
supposed
God,
to be
38. That's hot.
supposed to be having like 104 as a base temperature without the heat
Yeah.
index. and
That's like
stuff.
40 degrees. That's like
And it's only
people are
June.
melting.
Like July and August and September are going to be worse, guaranteed.
We would just have more Captain Marvel movies. Boom, boom, boom. Hello, hello, hello. There's the Superman custom channel emojis. There. Thank you, Tyler. What is going on, my man?
Boom.
The ABX one, I love. Yep. Boom, boom, boom. What is going on, brothers? John? What's good, brothers, sisters? I'm looking forward to meeting him and Jim at the end of this month at Heroes Con. That's going to be a blast, man. It's going to be a blast until I don't know, roughly 9 o'clock. Then it's bedtime. It's going to be a blast during the daytime, not at nighttime.
There's no going to the bar for Mark. It's bed.
Bed. Yeah, I don't get it. I slept most of yesterday. Start full week, new schedule, work tomorrow. Are you still on nights, Hefe? And also, I've got all these movies to get to you. I'd love to get that done this week if possible. Maybe meet
I'm
up.
actually working Monday through Friday this week, so
So I scheduled the official movers, like the big piece movers. They'll be here Tuesday morning. So 2 more nights of sleeping in this house. I'm going to work on getting all the cable and internet switched over and all that good stuff. But you'll probably be seeing this background for probably a couple more weeks and see how that goes. I might just come over here and just bam out a bunch of content until I get it set up, the internet set up over there, pre-record a bunch of videos one day, and the construction on the place where all my comics will be in the little house out back, that starts tomorrow. So we'll see how it goes.
those are always my favorite videos because you can tell when you're getting close to the end of like that one long day of recording when you start getting videos where your throat's all like scratchy and dry. Like,
So that was yesterday.
welcome, Comic Fam.
Yeah. Whatever day it was that I posted out on Instagram with all the thumbnails for the upcoming week, I've finished. This week is done. Yeah, I finished this coming week already. I just did it all in the cracks. Moved stuff on my break earlier, and just got home from going over there and sanding down and painting Monkey's new bed and cleaning and prepping another room and starting to set up the bathroom, and came home, washed the kids, took a shower. Like I told Ryan before the stream started, I'm not even wearing pants right now.
I'm not
Yeah,
wearing
sure.
pants
That's
either.
secret, man.
I'm not wearing pants either.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. It's
No, I'm
Sunday
wearing
night.
shorts. It's all good.
So I'm in boxer shorts right now. That's it. How do you expect to make love to the night, Mark? Oh, that's best done in a hotel room. I can attest to that. Worst place to make love to the night is at a bar, especially at nighttime. What is going on? War Machine Punisher Comics and Collectibles. A big shout out to him. I don't know if he caught last week or the previous videos, but thank you again for that Batman 89 cereal and collectible bank donation that was included in the most recent Legion Loot giveaway. That was awesome of you. Work MF and now 2 to 10. Woo, crap, middle of the day. And we got a super chat from none other than Mad Spidey. I appreciate that. I don't know what that translates to in American. I can only assume like a nickel, but I definitely appreciate it. He just did his big
It's like
300 subscriber
like
giveaway.
$4, like $4 or $5.
How do you know all this?
Because I pay attention to like stuff outside my own area.
That's why you should move to America.
Because
Then
when you
would
live
be
in
happy.
not America, you have to pay attention to us.
Do you want to give a damn about the rest of the world?
If
Like,
you move to
are you
America, you
American?
don't
No, like, how'd you get in here?
Oh god! Depending on DC release Tuesday, I go to Top Dog. If no exclusives or anything, I might be able to meet you at AVX Tuesday morning. I can well, Tuesday morning is not going to happen, but Tuesday at some point, Tuesday morning, I'll be starting to do the move on everything. So we'll see how it goes.
So are you moving to a new nice house?
Yeah.
Is it on a lake?
No, I wish.
Oh, okay.
Lakes around here in the summertime are tough. Like I came home and I took a shower without any hot water. And what was funny is I took a shower and I just took a quick one and stepped out and left it running. And Kyle went and took Monkey and just sat her in it. And she goes, ah! And ran to the back and grabbed the curtain and was holding it up like a shield. Poor little girl. It was hilarious. I thought pants were an option. They are always. You usually wear pants. I only joined on the assumption you were always pantsless. I typically have on shorts. Not like work shorts, but like just like
jorts. Yeah.
Gym shorts. Kind of, I guess, jorts are fashion. Best thing about living alone, clothing is still optional. I was hoping DJ would eat the cereal. Comic Book Poser won, and he is 100% down to eat the cereal. He was not even joking. He thinks it'll be fun to pop it open and eat it. So, like, he made it abundantly clear when I was talking to him that he's down to do that. So, I'll put the word out. I'll tell him people definitely want to see it. Mine's still sealed, so I don't plan on eating mine. But mine, so it'll be cool to see someone else do it. Yeah. I got one BTC package in, got another one coming in later this week. We'll do an unboxing when they're both in. Awesome. Looking forward to seeing that. 15 watching, only 11 likes. Hit that like button. Yeah, that's what I thought. Like he was actually wanting to do it from the sound of it, but yeah. We'll see how it goes. Yeah.
First on camera death. You only get one.
Oh my God. So this week was pretty chock full of stuff. You know, we had the next episode of Obi Wan, Miss Marvel released. The Black Adam trailer dropped. There's just been a lot of cool stuff. Is there any of that y'all want to tackle first? Why are you laughing?
Rigaways.
Rigaways. Let's start with Black Adam. What did y'all think of the trailer? Awesome. Ryan, what'd you think?
Man, honestly, I was kind of underwhelmed to the point I didn't even see it.
So Ryan, as usual, didn't watch the trailer.
I forgot that was coming out too.
I thought it was cool. I really enjoyed Hawkman. I really enjoyed that interaction. The snippet that we got of it. It was just a little bit more of an expanse of the
teaser
of the fandom one that we got a little while ago.
It didn't
seem like anything new. It just seemed like a little bit larger. That's it.
Yeah, that's fair. It kind of gives us a little bit of dialogue through it where he's like, my whole life I was a slave until I was killed, and then I was reborn a god. And you kind of see him like just kind of wake up, which we saw that in that little fandom snippet, which we actually saw a little bit different aspect of it in the fandom snippet with it looked like a search team there doing it.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. I thought they did that Iron Man thing where a couple of fighter jets flew beside the hero, and whereas Iron Man looked at them both and then took off. This time, Black Adam just looks at them and punches one of their wings.
Yeah, we kind of saw some kind of like, I don't know, special forces villains team like on hovercrafts flying over the ocean. It was just an extended teaser more than anything, but I thought it looked great. Visually, I think it looks awesome. We got the same footage of Atom Smasher. I was hoping to get another shot of him, but it was the same footage of him large running down the street, cars flying up. We did get a new shot of Dr. Fate though, where he kind of hit some kind of magic, and it was literally a split second, so it wasn't much of that.
But we got like I said, we got a little bit more dialogue with Hawkman, and then Hawkman, struck a pose a la Madonna. So. Yeah,
I remember everything you were talking about, I guess, from the fandom one thing.
Yeah, it was a little bit longer than the fandom.
That gave me everything I needed. Like, I was excited for the movie then. What is the point of more trailers?
Yeah, it was other than, like I said,
I don't understand advertising. It's supposed to sell you on an idea, but then they just like keep giving you more and more and more of something they've already sold you on so that you'll be more sold.
Yeah, that's just kind of DC meets the Matrix. It was kind of the same thing.
I don't know about all that, but leading into this, starting next month, DC will be releasing 4 one-shots. It's called Black Adam, the Justice Society Files, and insert name of character. You'll have one for Atom Smasher, Dr. Fate, Hawkman, and Cyclone. So if you're not familiar with these characters or you're just excited about the film and want to dive deeper into it before it gets here, you'll have your opportunity next month. And they have some awesome A covers attached to them. They're kind of like how they did the Snyder Cut variants, different artists taking on the movie version of the character. But the B covers will be movie photo variants like we've seen them do previously for different films, which some of those covers over time tend to kick up in value. Typically, it's like con exclusive versions that we see. But still, I think it's going to be awesome. I'm pumped for it. I think there's a lot of potential. I'm glad that they didn't give away too much in the trailer. They kind of left us hanging, but just showed us just a little bit more, like Chris said. And I think that's a trailer proper. I don't think we needed too much more than that. I did almost flip my lid when you see Hawkman jump out of the jet, out of the floor, the opening, because when I watched it the first time, it happened so fast, I thought it said fair play on his arm. I immediately paused the trailer in my first watch through. I hit pause, rewind, and watched again because I thought it was Mr. Terrific. And like there's other JSAers they haven't announced yet, but I don't think we're going to get any. I think we know who's actually in the movie, but it turned out just to be Hawkman.
To me, the big DC news of the week, or maybe it was last week, that apparently the new president wants to scrap all Superman projects and just focus on Cavill.
Yes.
How many times did I have to say it before they listened? But no, I thought that was great. I don't know how legit that is. I don't know how legit that is, but I'm kind of curious. Like, then what about J.J. Abrams? What about Michael B. Jordan? What about all that stuff?
Burn them all.
But in the end, you've already got an established Superman. You've already got an established universe. Whether you want to move forward with one creator's vision or whatever, you already have Superman established. You had him even with a different actor in Shazam. So you're like, it is what it is. You have Clark Kent as Superman in that universe. You can't ignore him.
Cavill's Superman.
Yeah, like Cavill's Superman. Yeah.
So I think that it's a good idea because, it hit the point where like DC was doing like the birdshot approach. They're just like shooting wild and seeing if they hit anything, and none of it is there. What's his name? Zaslav or something, who's coming in and is taking everything. He got rid of Hamada. That happened this week. He's already put the boot down on J.J. Abrams about 2 weeks ago, saying, dude, you have creative control of all these properties. You've turned nothing in. Nothing. You've made announcements. That means nothing to me. So hopefully they'll scrap it all. Like, I would love to see a Val Zod Superman movie because that introduces us, in my mind, to Earth 2, which for those that read Tom Taylor's run, where he comes from, that's just the Justice Society. That's all it is. It's the JSA. And that's just a Superman that runs around with them. He was an auxiliary character more than anything. So that's what, I think it would be great. It's a fun world, but it's way too deep continuity.
Got way too many wonderful characters to explore with Earth 1. And that's coming from a Marvel guy. There's way too many fantastic characters. I'm not even going to say interesting, fantastic characters they haven't even looked at yet before they can move into the whole Earth 2 thing. Leave that for television right now.
Yeah, I think that's a great place to do it because they're dealing with multiple Earths and Superman and Lois already. If you want to do stuff like that, we have Legends of Tomorrow, the whole that's a great place to do it. Mm-hmm. But right now, for your big screen stuff, you really need to hit that foundation, hit it running, and no matter what no matter what anyone's opinion is of the DC lineup, Superman is the core of it. No matter who's selling more books right now or in the future, Superman has been, and always will be the core of that comic book or that core of that company. You need that foundation. You need that equal opposite to Batman's tone and vibes, and Wonder Woman is it's like a perfect mix. You got to have them all.
Right. We need at the next point to me is we need the Lantern, but
and I think that still hasn't been chopped, and that still should be progressing sometime soon. I mean, we haven't got no announcements or anything other since months and months ago about casts that got put in there for Guy Gardner, Alan Scott, which my favorite GL, so I'm excited for that. But at this point, I'm thinking they're trying to build an anthology.
Remy.
Doomsday. We've already had Watchmen. DC has some great reading material right now. Just need the DCEU to step up on that big screen. Absolutely. I feel like they're heading in the right direction. They hit a home run with the Batman. Like they just did. It was a home run. So hopefully they can do it again with Black Adam. Yeah, 100% agree with lighten up the mood a little bit.
They give the darkness to the villain. Let Superman be the light. It's simple as that. And you can
Snyder's vision was too big to really play out, to give us this like finding that Superman in a long-standing arc over years just didn't work out, especially with all the shakeups. That was a very ambitious move, and it didn't work out.
I get it. It's just that Clark struggled under his human father because his human father, Kevin Costner, wanted him to stay dialed back, do not move forward. The world won't know how to deal with you, so he struggled with that. And then once he put the suit on, you heard Jor-El. Jor-El said they will stumble, but they will follow you. They will join you in the sun. Right. And then that's where the internal struggle came from within. It's a very deep movie. Very deep.
Taken in 3 parts, because what's crazy, and like, dude, it almost makes me tear up in the Snyder cut, the scene of Superman going back to his fortress to get the suit, and you actually hear the dialogue from the 2 previous films that Snyder was able to piece together, and actually makes one solid conversation of evolution of him in that moment becoming the Superman, a symbol of hope for the first time. It took those 3 movies to get to the Superman that everyone wants him to be from the start. But it's a very hard character to nail. Like, numerous people have said it. Like, they don't want to take him on. It's a very difficult character to find that balance with.
Well,
oh my God! Yes! Oh my God!
Yeah,
that would be near impossible for someone to hit a live action all-star Superman.
Yeah, Johnny Boy is right. That was a heavy moment. Not yet. That was good.
Good stuff. See, what else happened this week? Snyder, mentioned him briefly. He did post some more images of the, what's it called, Rebel Moon project. He's working on that big, epic 2-part sci-fi thing. He posted a still shot, some test footage of a character, like some female with like these huge horns coming out of her head. So that's coming along still, which is really cool. I'm excited for that. Let's see. Did either one of y'all watch Miss Marvel?
I did.
Ryan didn't even know that it came out this week.
Found out right before we went live.
I know a lot of people I've been watching some YouTube critiques of it, and a lot of people are critical of it. But these are old people, and this show is not for old people. It's not.
Nope.
I thought it was cool. It borrowed from a lot of different types of films that we've had in the last 20 years. Scott Pilgrim comes to mind. To me, it really borrowed heavily from there. I didn't know. I don't know much.
I said that when the first trailer dropped.
Did.
I said it's Green Lantern and Scott Pilgrim, and I 100% stand by that. First off, I'll be honest. It was well made. I struggled bust through watching it. I did not have fun watching it because I'm not a 7-year-old and I don't get high on Nickelodeon TV shows. Okay. If you are either one of those 2 things, you will love it. And probably some more people out there. But if you are either one of those 2 things, you will definitely love it. But it's more than just that. I don't think it was bad. It's just not my taste whatsoever. It was so cringy, quirky, and over the top goofy that I'm afraid that this series will have any kind of significance in the greater MCU story, because I don't want to have to watch it. There's a lot.
Sadly, it will, as she's going to be the co-star of the Marvel movie the Marvels that's already began filming or almost done filming. But you can't say it's just for 2 different wheelhouses. Like, no, it's more than that. I will say that the one thing I think both of us can agree on, it's interesting that Marvel's kind of patting themselves on the back with this, because the writers just kind of fanboyed or fangirled out over, all the other films that have happened beforehand. I get that, it's now down to the base level, looking up at the Marvel events that have happened, if that's the right term to use. And the one thing that I kind of didn't like is I've been to a lot of Comic Cons in my time. A lot. I've never seen any as dark as what that one pretended to be, or like
That was like a local. That was like a local thing.
That part I will agree with Mark. It was over the top. I've never been to a Comic Con, and I've been to some big ones that I've never looked anything like that, especially for cosplay contests or anything like that. It's just, that con was dark and like,
bro, that Ant-Man, that giant man head rolled at full speed.
No, it gained speed, man. It's like someone hit the accelerator.
The hammer that came down that should have splattered the girl, and she's hanging on it. Help, back and forth. I'm like, dude, what are we watching?
You want to know what I thought instantly when that giant Mjolnir hit that young girl? You know what I thought of? Okay, she's dead? She survives, but Aunt May does not.
I thought of a Looney.
Aunt May doesn't make it.
Like where's Looney Tune Fan 5000 or whatever? Like I pictured Wile E. Coyote. Like that's what we're looking at.
Up to that point.
Like there's some heartfelt moments in it and stuff, but her parents are done like live action cartoon characters. It's just the style is so like not talking about like the use of like how you're talking about like the little blurbs and stuff through the show. I thought was fun, like the Scott Pilgrim-ish stuff, like you were talking about. But it's just too goofy for me, man. It was just she's probably going to end up being the actual star of the Marvel. She's the most charismatic of the three actors by a mile. I think the actress that played her did a phenomenal job. Yes. She hit all the notes and everything. Again, I don't have any.
And the dad was good too.
Yeah, all of the portrayals were fine, perfectly fine. They did exactly what they were supposed to do, and this is a fact all day long.
That shout out to Looney Tunes Fan 5000 made the review for me. I don't know anything about this show, but
I gotta admit I liked it better than anything I saw from Moon Knight.
I'm not going to argue that. A story was told. Like I will not argue. This definitely was better than Moon Knight. It just, again, it's a Nickelodeon show that they've pigeonholed into the MCU now. It just, like, if you're going to make a show for kids, make a show for kids, which I don't know what it's going to be yet. None of us have seen past episode 1, but if you're making a kid show for kids, cool. There's a lot of those out there. I don't have a problem with any of them. But if you're making a kid show for the adult viewers to have to struggle bust through who are trying to keep up with the MCU, like you're just switching up your game on us here. But I thought it was magnificently done. Whoever directed it and did like the post production and stuff.
Oh yeah, like
it was a gorgeous
quality.
Show.
Yeah, the quality of the show itself was fantastic. Yeah, especially where the young boy and Kamala were walking or riding their bicycles, and they were talking about different spins on Captain Marvel. Yeah.
Dude, that thing came down with some weight, dude. You can't deny that, John.
I don't care. That girl got hit harder than Aunt May did. Long. Yeah, she got hit harder than Aunt May did. That's all I got to say. And Aunt May didn't make it. And we're talking Marissa Tomei. She's got an Oscar, and she didn't make it. No. Anyway. I thought the whole, pardon me, Mark, we had the animation happening on all the sides of the buildings, different Captain Marvels that they were talking about, because they want to obviously make her cosplay her own by giving it a different spin, zombie Captain Marvel and Doctor Strange Captain Marvel, and you saw all that on the background. Again, like Mark and I said, the quality of it, the production was fantastic. It's on point for MCU.
Any of the Marvel shows yet.
But yeah, there was a strong flavor of camp to it. I can't. Yeah. No, Marissa Tomei is in her mid-50s.
But Aunt May is not.
No.
She's been hitting the Peloton hard.
Everyone asked about her aunt, even Tony Stark, or his aunt. Sorry.
So does Miss Marvel? Does she have like stretchy hands and stuff, or did they stick with that energy?
No, she has like Green Lantern ability.
Green Lantern ripoff. Instead of a ring, they give her a bracelet. Constructs. There was like a recreation even of Campbell's Green Lantern movie when they're at the banquet, like they're at the little mini con and it goes south, and she has to like do her little thing like.
But yeah, so they set up they set it up where Kamala Khan's grandmother looked like that she may have been a hero in her time, and this bracelet that gives her abilities. Her mother decided to skip that generation to focus on her own family and having a family. So it was tossed in a box, and then Kamala Khan came across it and decided to wear it as a little bit of flair to make her cosplay her own, and then powered up essentially by putting this on. That part was interesting, but again, we had that with Shang-Chi. We don't need to go down that road again with jewelry that's going to be giving people abilities.
I don't like in Taylor's comment. The director stated that hard-light powers aren't Miss Marvel's final form, and Christian Bale's not Gore's final form, and blah blah blah. And like, dude, I think that's just a cop out from him, just banking on if we get negative feedback from this, we'll switch it up.
I don't care.
Chris,
God Butcher's not making it out of there.
Cardboard Crazies, congratulations!
Congratulations,
brother. Yes. I don't know if y'all checked his IG, but dude, he had one of the coolest gender reveals for his upcoming.
Yeah, it looked like he got Zack Snyder to come in and film it for him.
Yes,
you want to talk about production quality?
I'm not spoiling the surprise. If y'all want to know what we're talking about, check out Cardboard Crazies on IG and check out one of his most recent little video posts. Dude, I'll tell you the best part of it was his face when the dust settled. His face, I'm like, yes! Yeah. I was so excited for him when I saw that. I'm like, that is amazing.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yes. It's good to see you, Chris. Love you, brother. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Aunt May being hot after 30 years of her being old really threw me. I'm strangely comfortable with it. Yeah. I'm looking forward to the next one. I wonder what's going to happen. Does Megan stop the next Aunt May?
The older I get, the younger they get.
Yeah, nobody was upset with her casting. Nobody was upset. I'll be honest. I'll give it 3 Maple Leafs out of 5. Ms. Marvel. I'll watch episode 2.
There are those people out there, Chris, that say it's not for you. You shouldn't judge it. You know what? The hell with y'all. I give it a orange because I think it's just a stupid direction.
It's right about there.
Yeah, it's a Maple Leaf less of Chris because I think this is a dumb direction for them to take. I doubt that I didn't read the comics, but I doubt they are even this kiddie. I bet her comics are not made for 7-year-olds or 12-year-olds. I just don't see it. She's in other books that are not made for that age range, so I just think I don't think the show is that bad. Like, it's a bigger picture comment here. Like, I think the direction, the choice to do that was stupid, and it's going to cost them. I think that's why this show's been reviewed so hard, because other people, like, I've been following the MCU for X-Nay, and you're now saying, like, I'm a teeny bopper. Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. That's just, it just seems off brand.
It's interesting how the character is not relatable to her own family. She's has a hard time focusing, even like when she sits down in front of a counselor, and 4 out of 5 Crane, that's pretty good. And the counselor's like she kind of spaces out then.
Yeah, it was Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
It's not that bad. It's a mile ahead of Moon Knight, especially after 1 episode each. I think this
Moon Knight was the dumpster fire of the year.
That was it's so much better. It's not as good as WandaVision.
Yeah, I mean, it's the fault in the 4-quadrant marketing, right? They have to appeal to one of 4 quadrants, whereas like comic books, it's much more divided, and so you don't have like older audiences that are reading the younger books. If they bring her over to an older book, they just kind of like age her up in a certain sense, and it works because younger kids aren't reading that book. But whenever it comes to like movies and TV, you have to appeal to such a broad audience that everything is a miss for, big swaths of people. So it sucks. I think that's the biggest problem with movies and TV is you can't really build a universe on something like that because of how like big the audience has to be to support it.
I just don't think it's fair for people to say, it's just a teeny bopper show. I'm sorry. Spider-Man Homecoming, which people say is a great Spider-Man movie, same thing. We're talking a kid. We're talking about Peter Parker that wasn't invited to a house party, trouble at school, the whole 9 yards. Like it's not that much different. Not that much different.
I feel you guys like how more freaking Goonies did it in any way relate my middle-aged sensibilities. I mean, comics are for grown-ups. Kids have no place here. Yeah, that's definitely not what was said whatsoever, John. But I appreciate you twisting our words. There's countless shows for kids that aren't infused into the stuff for not kids. That's just what I said is a weird dynamic choice. But if you want to take it to its extreme, all I can say is only sit still and absolutes. Moving on. Hey, what's going on, Ashton? But yeah, I had the same kind of critiques about Spider-Man: Homecoming. It just wasn't necessarily feeling it. Tom Holland is not a good Spider-Man, dude. I think he came into it in that third one though. Like Tom Holland one has been my less favorite one, but my God, I feel like he earned his stripes in that.
When that whole scene in the apartment when he's looking at everyone and the spider sense is finally flaring up, and he goes right at the Green Goblin. I'm sorry, I'm with Mark. He hit his stride quickly at that point. But Andrew Garfield's better.
Tyler, like this, it was probably his favorite Disney Plus single episode so far. That's a big statement. I mean, everyone's got different taste on that. Like I said, the quality was all there. Like I
think Taylor is very, very, very correct here. A lot of people wanting to hate it. Seems to be the thing right now. Let's just.
I didn't want to hate it. I didn't want to like it. I just like I said, I just watched it. I'm giving it its high marks where I think it deserves it, and I think that it was absolutely stupid in other parts. So I'm just.
But there was one thing that Mark mentioned a while ago, that the reason why they did this this Green Lantern style of power is they don't want to use up Mr. Fantastic's ability on Ms. Marvel, and I think he's 100% correct. I think you're 100% correct, Mark, that they're saving that stretchability and that special effect and everything for when the Fantastic Four gets around, because we haven't had a team movie since the last Avengers movie, and they're going to want to throw everything at the Fantastic Four to make sure that it's a success, because every Fantastic Four movie we've had, including that indie, was a disappointment.
Yeah, if you think that comparing this simplistically as Green Lantern meets Nickelodeon is an extreme reduction, you need to go look at Nickelodeon. That's a perfect way to describe this style and tone of the show. It was still super annoying. You couldn't just shut up and let the Strange cast his little spell. Yeah, there was a lot of power of the plot in that. I wanted to hate and I liked it. Yeah. I'm glad a lot of people liked it. I'm going to attempt to tough through episode 2. Like, there's a lot of just character building in this first one, and as well as plot building, story building, world building, all that stuff.
The brothers going through an arranged marriage, family
there's a lot of stuff going on. That stuff. She didn't come into her powers toward the very, very end, and then that's when it was kind of just like an origin story in the first episode. So we'll see where it goes. I'll give it a shot. Hopefully it'll pick up a little bit, but that quirkiness, man, it just drives me nuts.
Yeah, this should be good. How about Obi-Wan? Now
y'all gonna hate me now. Brian, did you get caught up on Obi-Wan, or are you waiting for it to get over with?
Nah, man, I'm still holding off on that.
Then you get the comparison, John. So this episode was my least favorite of the 3. There was a bunch of those head scratchy moments that just compounded on each other. I think it was, in terms of Obi-Wan, the character building, I think it was a good progression with him, kind of seeing him, because you get to see him actually do some stuff. You see him like dodging blasters and everything. It seems like he's getting a little sharper. You actually see him have to use the Force and straining to do it and everything. In the midst of doing this is when those impossible moments happen over and over again. You're like, okay, it's getting ridiculous here.
But it's Star Wars.
It's not.
Come on, it's totally Star Wars. Ewoks, man. Come on, Ewoks.
What year was that? Have you seen Rogue One? There's water in that. I'll put some life in it. But
there's water under that couch.
There's water in Rogue One.
The OG Little Rascals move, and they all stack up in a trench coat and walk out of a busy. there's an old man and a child sharing a trench coat. Tell everyone that's Star Wars. I'm gonna get famous.
Oh man, it's totally like a Tom and Jerry movement moment. It was. I kind of jumped the shark. But Mark's right. It was really good. You got to see Obi-Wan start working the lightsaber to deflect laser shots being done at him, and I thought that was really, really good. And then they're stuck in this Empire castle, this dark place, and in the end, Mark was right. It's like, okay, we're gonna put a trench coat or this cloak over Leia and Obi-Wan, and no one's gonna notice because they're walking beside an Imperial officer. And yeah, totally like a Tom and Jerry moment. And I'm just like, they jumped the shark. The franchise just literally jumped the shark. They saved themselves after Jar Jar, but then they turn around and just Jar Jar themselves again.
Yeah, it was goofy. This was a very weak episode. It was just them having to go recover Leia. But
everything before that I thought was good. You got to see Vader just, was it? Where he
that
pulled
was the very end.
Where he did the total about face. He's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, so like, all right, this one was goofy from the jump. Like, we're going to infiltrate this half underwater facility, and they just walk into it. No problem whatsoever. They just walk in, no security, no cameras, no nothing.
Well, there was security.
They have an inside lady. Not for Obi-Wan, there wasn't. So they have an inside lady. She sits down in a big echoey room 2 feet away from the guy on the control next to her and gets on her comm. All right, Obi-Wan, if you just sneak in through the door right behind you, you can make it to the hallway. Yeah, and then just go to your right. And the guy looks at her like he can hear her. He looks at her because he can hear her. And she's like, yeah, you're good. Yeah, just keep going. And like, how does he – what? There was a lot of goofiness in this one, but overall, the show isn't terrible. It is. They're trying to make it bad. Like, I feel like they're trying to.
They jumped the shark with that whole, like I said, this Tom and Jerry moment. We're gonna
little rascals, like when they went to the bank and tried to get a loan. The bank teller was like, "If y'all were my kids, I'd spank you." And they look at him, "If we were your kids, we'd spank ourselves." Like, what is? And they walk like a half a mile, people everywhere, no one noticing. Like, this is insane.
Yeah, but it's all right.
This is ridiculous.
It's all right. It's all leading up to what we're waiting for, and that's one more lightsaber battle. So let's
There's got 2 more episodes left.
Like,
and like
drop
I said,
Leia off and let's go back and let's do it. Let's go.
If you take a step back and just like forget the countless problems with the plot in this episode, and you just look at like the progression of Obi-Wan, that's still on course. That's still looking good. Like seeing him disconnected and broken to the realization that Anakin's alive and being forced back into like being some form of a Jedi, some form of a protector, and seeing him like get back into it a little bit. That's still upticking. So I'm happy with that part of it at least.
Yeah,
Obi-Wan is all right. The third sister isn't intimidating at all. No, and that drives me crazy. She fails, and they're like, "You failed me again. I'm going to kill you." No, but I did it on purpose. Okay, cool. That's awesome this time. Cool, because you got away again, but you did it on purpose. That's great.
Hold on, you got to say that she put a tracker on him. Like, come on.
Whoop-de-doo, but what does it all mean?
She was literally about to get the old, and that would have been it. But then she's like, "Oh, there's a tracker on him," and Vader's like, "All right, talk to me."
Yeah, Johnny Boy said she started to remember how to act in this one. Yeah, she hasn't done like a very dynamic performance, which is unfortunate because like all the stuff on social media that like her getting all these mean tweets and stuff. It would be awesome if she was getting those mean tweets, but was doing a stellar job, but she's getting a bunch of backlash and stuff, and she's not doing a good job either. So it's like, sorry.
Yeah, people said the same thing about Hayden Christensen's take on Anakin 20 years
ago.
People
still don't like him. They're still saying it. Yeah. And dude,
people are saying it's not him now.
Actors playing Darth Vader in the suit. None of them are Hayden Christensen, and he's only playing him when he's like in the little tank.
Well, yeah, the one tank, and then the where Obi-Wan had that vision off in the distance. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm excited for the next episode though. There's something about a lot of these stuff, whether it be kind of a lot of the excitement is kind of faded for the Marvel shows, the Disney Marvel shows, because like they just over and over said like this isn't going to be good. But so far, Mandalorian 1 and 2 was phenomenal. Boba Fett was a train wreck, and then we're getting this one that's kind of teetering. It can go either way, so I'm still excited for it. I'm hoping that it really takes off on the end here.
What I hope comes from all of this is that these giant corporations realize they can't win with with fandom by just like remaking the same garbage and constantly rebooting, and so like we basically burn them out so the next generation actually gets some original content out of somebody somewhere.
Doubt it.
Maybe my kids in their adulthood will get to watch an original concept at some point. That'd be cool.
Moonfall.
Never mind. I take back everything I said.
I watched that yesterday. My buddy Lee came over, and we sat here and I boxed up stuff and I threw in Moonfall. He loved it. It's just fun. It's not meant to be anything more. It's just stuff like that's fun. It's just stuff that it's trying so hard. And I mean, like, these are high standards that are set for all of this stuff, whether it be the Marvel superhero stuff, the Star Wars stuff, the DC stuff. There's such high standards. Like, I couldn't imagine being on the other end of this stuff, knowing that just thousands and thousands of people aren't just going to watch it, but they're going to take to social media and critique the hell out of you. And no matter what you do, you're not going to make a lot of them happy.
You can't win. It's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about like a property that was, pretty dormant for 20 years that left an impression on so many people at such an impressionable age in their life. And then you're like, okay, well, 20 years later, we're going to bring it all back. Like, how do you expect them not all to like come
4
out
or
of the
5
woodworks?
times a year, right?
Yeah. Like, it's just crazy. There's no way they can win with all this.
Yeah, I don't know if Mando was just the fact that it was a new character. Like, if you would have taken Mando out of that and put Boba Fett in the same place, it would have still worked because it was an amazing story that was told. It was presented great. It was shot beautifully. Those elements were not present in the Boba Fett one. Like, that would have worked whether it was Mando or Boba Fett. Let's figure out what actors we hate and start a petition to Johnny Depp them so Disney will drop them. Moonfall, I enjoyed a conspiracy theory. It was fun.
I'm curious who's going to give Johnny Depp his first job now that all this
Probably
is
no
over.
one. Because
I don't know.
I don't know if they watched the deposition, especially the part where he talks about how many times he hit her and that it wasn't that hard. I mean, like, they're both pieces of craps.
Yeah, like in the end, one's a piece of crap, the other is a junky alcoholic piece of crap.
One's a piece of crap, one's a crapper. Like,
one's a piece of turd and the other one's a junky alcoholic.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, that's what came out of that. Is they were both toxic people, and one of them should have kept their mouth shut, and it backfired on them.
Yeah.
Anyways,
we'll see what happens with Aquaman 2.
Did y'all read any good books this week? It's already 10:19.
Yes.
Man. It's almost like you used up a bunch of time talking about
this
stuff you
was
didn't even care about.
surprisingly good and mean. It was good and mean.
Is that a one shot or is that an ongoing now?
It's a mini series, I believe, Mark. I believe.
What's it called?
Poison
It's called
Ivy.
Poison Ivy.
That started this week?
Poison.
Who's writing it?
That girl is Poison.
Go
Wilson.
Right.
Poison. Poison. Bill Biv DeVoe.
Crap the bed.
G. Willow Wilson. And the artist is Marcio Takara.
No one knows that is. What are they doing with Poison Ivy to warrant her to have her own series?
She has been crisscrossing the back farm roads of America, unleashing a new toxin that's basically, how does she describe it to the common man? It's called Ophiocordyceps lamia. But in layman's terms,
wrong, we wouldn't know.
In layman's terms, they're called parasitic mushrooms. And I think she might be infected with it herself, but it's a slow infection. And she's been basically touching animals and having this green infection, a la swamp thing, take over them. And it looks like, to her knowledge, that it kills them. But when she walks away and leaves the scene, these creatures start to slowly move. So I'm thinking later on in this series, what she's done is going to catch up with her. I I actually really enjoyed it. She talks about that she knows that in the end, the Bat family or Mr. Green is gonna.
Me and famous person work weird activity at beautiful expensive place.
I'm sorry, Chris. That was too good.
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
Do you think that these creatures, you know how in Future State Swamp Thing had like that little group of other people that looked like they were from the green that we still haven't seen make their way into main continuity? Do you think this could be them possibly?
So when you're infected by by this mushroom poison, this is how you start to look at poison ivy.
Like Phoenix?
Once you're infected, the eyes of the infection or eyes of your infection have you look at her that way. I'm just trying to show what it looks like once you get hit. So you can see there's a gentleman that's holding a rifle at her, and she just basically whispers on him, causing the infection to quickly spread. You can see on his neck how it just kind of starts to spread, and the next panel below it, it's beginning to transform and shapeshift his body, and then it's kind of a big clumpy mess, as you can see in the background up top here. It's fascinating because she is relentless. She goes into a bar, into a restaurant just to have a bite to eat, and the waitress comes over and is actually very nice to her. And as she, like, her thoughts are, well, it's a nice person. Too bad now that she's going to be infected. And as she's about to leave, two guys come up and hit on her, and she politely says, "No thanks." So you do mushrooms, yeah.
So you do mushrooms and it goes all the way to your cockles and you get high as hell?
Yeah.
Doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah. And then the woman in your life turns into this. But yeah.
That just seems like it's a little burner mini series.
It's but she
Hide
does
the urine infection?
There is one point, like I said, where she says, "I know what I'm doing, and I know that eventually they're going to catch up to me, and I know the Bat family is not going to be that far, or Mr. Green, he is not going to be happy at all." So I'm presuming that we are going to see Swamp Thing or into this, and yeah, it's worth the read if you can get yourself a free copy, or one of the 20 sexy variant covers. It's worth the read. I was greatly surprised. I thought it was going to be a little au fromage. I didn't expect it to be as good as Swamp Thing. It is not, but it's not far off.
I did not expect it to be as good as Swamp Thing. It is not.
But it is not far off. Like, come on, let's admit, like, if you're going to say top 5 stories going on in the DC universe right now, Swamp Thing is somewhere in that top 10 or top 5 for sure. You put Action Comics 1, you could put Swamp Thing 2, flip-flop them, or insert title A here. But Poison Ivy is off to a pretty damn good start. It doesn't get silly with origin. It talks a little bit about the breakup that she has with Harley, and that's why now she's just depressed and she realizes her own mortality, and so that's why she has no problem taking all the humans with her and letting this new creation that she's spreading take over the rest of the planet.
I think Taylor is right that Swamp Thing against Poison Ivy could be doing good, but I only think that it would work right now, because I think that would be contingent upon having Levi in this early, like, pardon my pun, but he's green right now. You know what I mean? He's new to this.
Yeah, so Ivan or Poison Ivy can hold her
Swamp
own.
Thing, like, that's just nothing. You just turn her into a tree.
But yeah, at this
right
point,
now,
right. Poison Ivy could hold her own.
Because it's Queen Ivy right now too, right? She's like amped up anyway. She's been amped up since Tynan didn't do it, but it happened during the Tynan era.
Yeah.
Any of y'all did Animal Castle drop this week? I don't read Animal Castle.
I don't read Animal Castle either. Sorry.
Ivy would be way outclassed. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It would have to be like right now, where if you come at Levi, you're gonna get over on him. but just long enough for him to sit there inside of it and just process it and just come right back out.
The interesting thing is this infection pops that she has in this story that she's spreading, this, this mushroom, if you want to call it that, this infection that she's spreading. It doesn't matter if it's living or dead. It just overcomes it and starts to grow from it. So you can see that there's natural vegetation in around the landscape. When she spreads it, everything gets infected, not just a person. Everything that's around that person gets it too. So I'm wondering if she were to take on Levi as this avatar of the green.
He's not even the avatar.
He may not. Yeah, he may not be able to hold it. Like, it might be a little bit more interesting that way. But if it's, if we're gonna go like main continuity Swamp Thing, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. It's Swamp Thing all day, every day. Like, only Superman could challenge, anyways. But but yeah, shrooms are from the gray. Okay. But yeah, I also read this. It's basically just an origin story of Tombstone and the steps that Tombstone's going to be taking to get all the main superheroes focused on Wilson Fisk instead of what he's doing. Spider-Man is basically just James Bond all tied up on the table with the laser being pointed at his groin. This entire comic book, literally, Spider-Man's in chains this entire time. He is a non-factor in this book, other than Tombstone is telling him his plans, and then we get a little bit of a side story of Tombstone's offspring proposing to Robbie's offspring, and that's about it. It's, again, I'm kind of underwhelmed with Zeb Wells at the helm. The interiors are lovely to look at, but I didn't have that complaint about the last volume. The interiors were very nice to look at too. I get that there's a lot of romanticizing JR with this, but it's still not hitting it. I thought issue 2 was better than issue 1. Issue 3 is just way too early for just a bland type of storyline where we're finding out the sinister plot that Tombstone's doing. Yeah,
he's the avatar of the gray, Ryan.
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
The Rock.
There you go.
Yeah, speaking of that, we should be getting Swamp Thing Green Hell issue 2 sooner than later.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Alec, man, that was good. That was so good.
Well, yeah, the whole Parliament thing. Look, yeah, Jeff Lemire hit a home run with that one.
Yeah, at least that first episode, it was phenomenal.
It's probably his TV show.
So,
talking about that lately.
Sorry, Ryan. I'm thinking all three of us are going to want to talk about this.
Dark Crisis. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, we'll get to it. Ryan, did you read that?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go for it then.
My question is, before we begin, who's that green? Forgive me, I'm forgetting the name of it. The green Teen Titan. Is it Wolf Boy? Like, what's the name of that? Yeah, what
did you just say? Jesus criminy. Put some respect on his name.
Like, what's his name? All I know is that he ceases
You
to
should
exist.
at least know his first name, because my God, that really made that scene clap. That's Beast Boy.
Right. Yeah. But
So anyways,
bye, Beast Boy.
So we're jumping right to it. So this was a good first issue. It really hit all the strides. You kind of get a little bit of the hierarchy here.
Who cares? He's dead.
Thank you.
Who cares? He's dead.
So you kind of get all the stuff that you really needed out of a first issue, if you ask me. So you kind of get introduced to the new structure of who's left behind. You have people coming to Nightwing, kind of looking to him in a leadership role. You have him kind of establishing by the end of the issue that he has no real desire to take on the mantle of the Justice League, that he is part of the Titans. He is on a team. He doesn't need to go fill in a role at another team. And you also get to see John Kent Superboy trying to do what he thinks his dad would do and put together a new Justice League. So naturally he goes to Yara Flor and Jace Fox, who is Wonder Woman and Batman. They both tell him no. But along the way, we get Hal Jordan showing up, which we saw in that Road 2. And he shows up with the specific purpose of finding people he knows that he's known for a long time, like Wally, Nightwing, and saying, what's really going on? And they're like, we're not 100% sure, but ask the guy that we can ask. And they send him to Black Adam, and his response was exactly what we should see. So Hal's been gone for a long time, but he looks and sees that Black Adam is their trusted advisor on the death of the Justice League, and he about loses it. He's like, guys, he's tried to kill us numerous times, but we get an awesome Superman-esque moment where John Kent steps up to the plate. He's like, hey, my dad believed in him. My dad trusts him and sees something in him, and that counts for something. I'm like, yes, it does. And so they're forced to take Black Adam's word for it and start moving forward, and that's when John tries to put together his own band. And a lot of people tell him no, but you get this awesome page of this long roster of people and responding.
Some of their responses are great. Yeah.
Perfect.
Harley Quinn was great. Blue Beetle was great.
Damien's like, my dad's not dead, but I'm in. And Jackson's like, yeah, I got your back, bro. And then you get Blue Beetle and Booster Gold tapping it. We're in. Yes. But it was Black Adam. Oh my God. The Black Adam's response.
You don't need two Blue Beetles.
He looks at the team with Killer Frost on it, Harley, 2 Blue Beetles, and he just starts. He looks at John's like, you don't need 2 Blue Beetles. She's going to stab you in the back. This one's going to run away. He's going to try to kill you.
Harley's like, yeah,
I will. Yeah. But it was really cool. It was awesome. And I don't know if we talked about it, but last week Alpha War Omega came out, the final issue to Williamson's Alpha War event. Talia al Ghul killed Deathstroke, and his acolytes put him in a Lazarus pit to bring him back to life. And when he came out of it, he was twisted, like he was juiced up, hell-bent on killing the Titans and beyond. And we actually see that onslaught start in this issue because we cut to Dick Grayson at the Titans Tower just doing what they do, whatever it is, after the finale of that horrible run. Like, it really let me down with that finale, but
good.
It did. It had its ups and downs. It really did. But that finale was god-awful. But if it's leading straight into this, I get it. That makes sense because it's about to go real far south because we get Chupacabra walk in, beat up, bloody, and they all look at him like, what's going on? And then they hear noise. They look outside, and you see an entire army of supervillains coming, led by Deathstroke, and they already have Beast Boy. And Slade walks up to him. He's like, they talk for a second, and they've been around each other for decades, in real life, like better than 40 years. So they're no stranger to each other, and it really shows. It's a personal conversation when Beast Boy's like, what are you doing, man? What are we really doing here? Is this really the time? And he makes a comment to Beast Boy like, this is going to be the last time, Garth. And he calls him by his first name when he puts a gun to his head and kills him. And that's really how we set off this issue. Like, it was nuts. And then to top it all off, we learned that the Justice League isn't dead. Like, they are, like, full disclosure, they're part of Pariah's machine. He's like how Perpetua did in the Year of the Villains, how she used crisis energy to fuel her, whatever. Looks like Pariah is looking to harness hope for his machine to give it enough power to do what they need it to do. And we get this last page where all the Justice Leaguers are either their essence or something are all existing inside of these orbs that he has as part of his machine. And full spoiler, how Barry Allen is alive in this little world, this perfect pocket world where he's existing, and it's like a Mayberry or Leave It to Beaver. That's where all of the Justice League are at currently, and we will explore them individually in the one-shots that are featuring them, A World Without the Justice League, one-shot Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, so on. So they're not even pretending like they're dead, which I think is smart. We all know the trope, die, come back. So they're leaning into it. They're not dead.
My question is Nightwing dead?
Nightwing, no.
Are you sure? Because there's a bomb.
Only 100%.
There's a bomb strapped to, what is it?
Chupacabra. Chupacabra. If you paid attention outside of America, in Mexico, they have chupacabras that kill goats.
Isn't that the Jersey Devil? But no. Okay, so right here, there's a bomb strapped to his chest, and then look, boom. Like there is like he sees the bomb that's on his chest. Look who's holding him, and then it blasts off.
Yeah, he's definitely alive because issue 2 is an all-out death battle, and they are on the cover of issue 2 of Deathstroke and Nightwing. Issue 2 is the full onslaught of Titan's Tower. So,
as we saw in the Batman,
this was very, very
bombs do not kill.
Exactly. Only if you're a lawyer.
Well, I guess if Jason Todd can survive it, I guess you're.
Oh, right. It took him a while to come back from that.
Yeah.
But yes.
I mean, that tidbit you gave about the Omega War thing, like that helped make that ending make a little more sense. Because, like, I mean, it almost made sense, but it was like, man, this whole part just like came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But I guess it makes more sense if I had read Omega War, which I don't
Yeah.
regret not
The
reading.
final page of that is them taking his dead body to a Lazarus pit, coming out, and they're like, "Whoa, what is up with him?" Because he's all juiced up and crazy. And he makes a comment about, "We're about to burn this world down, starting with the Teen Titans," kind of thing. He says, "To be continued in Dark Crisis #1."
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, this is pretty left field, but like I was not expecting to just like jet off to see the Teen Titans, but makes sense without the Justice League there. Like Slade
They're
and
your
his people
they're
are
your
like, oh yeah,
senior
we're gonna
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're the
like
B
we're gonna
team,
take
right?
them out. So that made sense, but at the same time, it was like, boy, that was a hard shift over to this. Like, where did it all come from? So
You-
that
you
makes a
wanna-
little more sense.
Want to know what's going to make this a great miniseries? If Amanda Waller shows up.
Ooh, bro, if she brings in her team,
if that team shows up, it will
Earth 3?
be
I didn't
great.
even think of that.
It will
Dude, that would be
be
false. If she
great.
brings over the Crime Syndicate, that's like a mixture of the Crime Syndicate and her team, dude, that would be awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Does Josh Williamson have it in him? We'll see.
We'll see.
Yes.
That would just further prove how well planned out this year has been, because there's been some great little like pocket series here and there, and if they like tie it all in together like this, like that'd be pretty solid.
Ryan, you have anything else you want to throw into the Dark Crisis? Questions, comments, concerns?
No, I
Raise.
thought this was probably my favorite issue of all the Dark Crisis stuff that we've gotten so far. Well, no, I really like Death of Justice League, so we'll say this is second best. But I really enjoyed all the stuff with Jonathan. I mean, he's a character I've been enjoying already in Tom Taylor's Superman book, and just to see him come over here and kind of get the same
Where
treatment,
she
like
started.
we've seen him, kind of come up in Superman, and then he comes over here and like kind of gets knocked down a peg, and it's nice to see him like, nah, like you don't understand, like I've been doing stuff, and like I'm not just a nobody here, and so yeah, it was nice to see all the characters react to him, but also know like the dude's got the right stuff, and I think he's gonna end up becoming important to leading like whatever this team is that he has put together with 2 Blue Beetles. So that was cool, and then like the ending, like you said with Beast Boy and all that stuff, like it was really cool. I was just kind of like, this came out of left field for me, but all in all, like it really made that issue pay off and like give it some weight and some heft. So I'm excited for where Dark Crisis is going from here.
You're right though about the Jonathan Kent part. To me, the nose he got was kind of like, sorry, Junior, like you're not your old man. Like if your dad asked me, it'd be a different story. Sorry, Junior. Like, but yeah, I really enjoyed the interaction between him and Yara Fleur. Like you can tell this is the future right here. These 2 characters, right? And hopefully she gets a good writer. But yeah, you can tell that in the end, if it comes down to a handful of people that stand up, it's going to be him and her that's going to be there.
Yeah, we already saw how well their dynamic can work in the pages of Justice League, as well as the Superman Wonder Woman crossover. There was 2 issues of each, but all of their interaction in all 4 of those issues was like stand out in the book. It was very cool. I'm excited for them, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Sweet chocolate. Tala and Hatoto.
Yeah, I don't have that book here. I did read it already. I haven't been back to the shop since Tuesday. It's been a busy week.
Have you read it, Ryan?
Yes, sir.
All right.
We would be back.
Yeah. This was a turning point for sure. Like volume 2 has felt a little bit estranged from what we got in volume 1, and then this one just like really tied us back into what We Live volume 1 delivered on. So I'm excited.
100% agree. There was some big hits in this one, big story shifts. We had a couple of those gotcha moments. We potentially were shown the kids from the free comic book day one shot. That has not been confirmed, but there are a little group of people we got to see that I'm like, these could be those kids, which I think that would be really cool.
Those kids with the big, beautiful hearts.
Yeah, that was nuts. But we found out that Captain Nesbo, that's leading the band of humans from one failing city to try to find refuge in another, we see his like heroic and daring escape from this giant creature that's like almost like a spider like that's up in the air, like down to slaughtering them. We see he's actually kind of he's tough as nails. He rips his arm out, fights it, saves them all, just to hand deliver them to this almost like it's like a cultish faction that's living out in this world and heavily surviving on cannibalism. He's delivering them like the golden calf here, like on a slab. It was wild to see that crazy turn. Like and then on top of that, over with our Palladians, we see them the reconnect team taking off after meeting with Humbo, getting the portable pack. So they're actually juiced back up and they're on their way down to the cenote and they run into some trouble. We actually see the death of one. I think her name is Warbird or something was her superhero name. She had a cool little flashback to her training with her grandparents and everything. And she puts it into play just long enough to save them and take a loss. So we see that even they are
not safe.
Nobody is safe.
Yeah.
No, they're not indestructible. That's for sure.
Not at all.
No.
Yes. And that creature that does the destruction, what the heck? Just like a razor sharp tongue.
Or a tail, I don't know.
Or a tail,
they look like all black
yeah.
sperms just floating in the deep.
Yeah. It was wild though, because like they established like how impossible it is to get out of this, whatever it is, you know. And then we get the flashback scene and like kind of reconnect with the child again and then come back into it and like get a moment of victory. And you're like, yes. And they're like, oh,
yeah. I think
okay.
it's easy to create. These are all kids. These are not adults. Like we saw in the first issue, them playing games while they were like recharging and stuff. These are kids.
Yeah.
But it was cool. It was a really, really good issue. It was dynamic. It was fast paced. It really pushed the narrative on both parts really far, and it took one of them in a completely different direction than what we were expecting. And it made me start thinking about the bigger picture, you know, like, and I mentioned this on Banter last night, but thinking about the creative process side, that first volume was written to stand alone as is. They didn't know if there would be more or not. It really picked up steam, sold like hotcakes well after it finished its run.
Mm-hmm.
But just the pre-sale numbers alone from this volume probably guarantees the next volume. And like we asked them about that. Their goal is 5. And they pretty much quietly, like with the non-disclosure face, said there'll be another volume. So I think they're writing this one already into the third volume plans. Because I can't see too much resolution happening right now. Like, especially with how many people are over in trouble with Nesbo's team. And they're still trying to get to the reconnect. There's no way they're going to get over there. There's going to be still 2 stories.
Yeah, I'm sure this volume's going to end on a down note.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going, because volume 1 ended on such that beautiful moment where we got to see Hatoto and Tala, especially Hatoto, you know, reach the goal and this wonderful thing happen. And then you know that, okay, the future is now bright. And they are going to wipe that away at the end of this volume, in my opinion. I think Ryan's absolutely correct. I think this is going to end on a very dark note. Obviously, I don't think anything's going to happen to Hototo or Tala, but we may lose another Palladian at this point.
Safe.
Yeah,
I think out of the 2 of them, I think that
it's almost his story, right?
Yeah, and she's to put it in terms that I understand, she's his lightning rod. Like, how would he go on without her? Like that would be a tough story to have to tell. And think of how this started. The first issue with her going out in the storm and bringing him back in. You know, like it's just, what would he do in the storm without her? Like that. Yeah. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it, man. But that would be a tough story to have to read through, to watch him go through that struggle. And this book is all about making it through struggle.
Yeah.
The first issue of volume 2, Chris.
Okay. No, I'm just going back to just like right off the bat, their mother. Then, you know, it's everyone in their life dies.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I always like, one of the standout scenes to me, especially early on in the first volume, is whenever they're talking about like all the circles. Like, this circle is you. This is Tala. This is your mom and dad, you know, and like how all that connects back to like how important all these people are to his journey and his story. So it'll be interesting to see how they continue to eliminate circles from around him, and where he becomes the final piece of that puzzle.
But yeah, it's great
Yeah.
storytelling.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's so like colorful and enjoyable to look at, but then like it also like has all this weight to it that just really makes it something that resonates with the human experience.
But yeah, it's interesting. Like at this point, was it 2085 now? 2086 at this point.
Mhm.
How many different factions of people are out there that are just it's so dark based? These cults, like even in the first volume, when there was people killing children that were trying to get on those trains, and now we're at this point where we're dealing with cannibalism. It's just all these,
Everyone. Yeah.
it's so many how the human race went so
It's
dark.
really cool how they're learning how to live in this. This faction does not have shields up. They're existing and living in this world as is, and they're finding ways to live with this wild nature that wants to kill them. They found that substance that they're using as like a leverage tool over these creatures. Like they're able to get them to do their bidding. Go out and find us food, and we'll give you what you want. It's wild.
Yeah.
It's really cool. So we got about 10 more minutes on here. So Batman was fine. Like it was the wrap up to Williamson's run. Just a quick one for this. There was just this time the Abyss loose thread. It looks like that detective that he met over there where Batman Inc. was is picking up the tickle of Abyss and is taking advantage of that, not as a villain, but just as to inflict fear into the criminals in their Dark Knights of Steel. Cool.
Terrible. I can't stress how terrible this is. This is just
Is that Thor?
Banner
Okay.
the Banner of War stuff.
It's Hulk versus Hulk.
I did not get a chance to read Savage Avengers 2. Ryan, did you?
Yeah, I read it. I don't know. It was kind of a repeat of the first issue. Like, I
Okay.
don't remember them at the end. Remember how they got like dropped into the Hyborian age or whatever?
Yes.
Apparently, they all got dropped in different places, and so like literally, it's just like 2 by 2 by 2 by 2, like coming back together again.
Okay.
And it's like, what the frick is going on? Like, this is literally the first issue, just in the Hyborian age instead of in New York City. Like, and the whole thing's like narrated. I was like, this is freaking boring.
Welcome to Marvel Comics. I'm not going to do that. I did it.
Wow.
Batman Flashpoint issue number 2. This was all right. It was decent. We hit the detective mode. Batman's trying to find answers about why he exists and why his world exists. And he gets a lead from a detective that a guy is in Arkham saying that he's hiding in this world trying to escape a dark crisis. Psycho Pirate is one of the few people that retain all their memories and knowledge of the whole multiverse and everything. So Batman's like, I know that. So if he's here, he should have some answers of why I'm here. And he goes there, and Psycho Pirate's been killed, made to look like he hung himself, basically left there for Batman. So Batman knows that this Clockwork Killer is up to this. And then we get information at the end. It's the most exciting part, in my opinion, when we cut back to Batman of Earth ? The one that's trying to solve this time problem and stuff. Who's kind of hanging out with some of the time. What are they called? Rip Hunter and the time something. The time cops or whatever. But Batman's messing with stuff. He went and got Janie's watch. He's now got the snow globe. And Rip Hunter's little sidekick makes a comment. He's like, look, man, you're messing it up. We have all these items in here to create a balance so that people don't know it's here. You keep taking these things, the blue guy's going to come for them. I'm like, the blue guy is Dr. Manhattan. So I am absolutely pumped. They're throwing little tie-ins to Dark Crisis, which Williamson really, who's writing Dark Crisis, really has the markings to be the next generation's Jeff Johns with his love and knowledge of DC history and how he plays into the books he writes with it. And Jeff Johns is like helming this project. So he's really hitting on some stuff that I really enjoyed over the years. If my God, if they bring Dr. Manhattan into Dark Crisis, I'm going to flip my ish. Like I'm just going to I will have a fanboy-gasm. I will throw the book across the room, but they're potentially throwing enough Easter eggs out there that it's on the table at this point. So I think that's awesome.
So DC has another Batman going into Arkham to find someone that's already been killed.
Yeah, someone that shouldn't have been there to begin with. This whole
What
clockwork.
was that about Marvel Comics?
No, that sounds like a good story. I don't know what you just heard.
It's every Batman, but never mind. Okay, moving forward.
Yeah, he did have a cool conversation with Gilda and watched her kind of like smash her face against the window till it busted up half of her face. So you see like the Two-Face origin in this go down in this issue, which was pretty cool because they were having a very personal conversation about their passed away husbands and wives, like taking shots at Thomas for letting Martha die and stuff like that. And he finally snaps on one comment about being a bad father and says something to Gilda, and she just starts smashing her head against the glass and just letting it just demolish her face. It was wild.
Nice.
But I got 2 books left that I hope we can get in before the 10 minutes is up, because I do want to get myself to bed on a decent time tonight.
Let's talk about Andromeda. Black Label, baby.
Dope.
Freedom.
So
That's
dope.
all I hear is freedom. Black Label.
This is so dope. Ryan, do you want to start? I know you read this one. You enjoyed it.
You froze for a moment, but I'll just pretend like I heard it. So Aquaman Andromeda was fire. I thought it was great. I enjoyed it. It's like more of like a monster, like giant monster kaiju kind of thing. It reminds me a lot of King Kong from like 4 or 5 years ago. Whenever we got like this real like intentionally slow pace, like plotting kind of movie that's just like setting up all these dominoes for something big to pop off eventually, and like heavily stylized, and so this is like scene, and you're just like kind of getting like all of these pieces line up. You're kind of learning why all these people are in the places they're in, and ultimately we get like they unleash the Kraken already in this issue, so whatever's there is bigger than the Kraken, because Aquaman shows up and beats it back, and saves the people who do not know that Aquaman exists. They do not seem to know that alien or extraterrestrials exist, and so it creates an interesting universe where there's like a ton of possibility that, sure, we already know, like we know Aquaman, so like there's not a ton of surprise there, but what is surprising is how people react to him when he shows up. And so I think that's what like really makes this story like cool and interesting, is the reactions we're going to get set within that world. And so I'm excited for more of it. It's only 3 parts, and I get the impression all 3 parts are going to be stellar, so I'm excited.
Yeah, the last few Black Labels have hit very, very well. For me, Catwoman, Lonely City, and Rogues, and Green Hell, and now Andromeda as well. And they're so beautiful to look at too.
It was.
It's just so.
It's Christian Ward.
Yes, I do not know Christian Ward's
Yeah,
work, to be honest, but I do now.
Yeah.
And, the
way
whole
he portrays Aquaman, like he's part of the ocean, like with the barnacles and the coral on him and stuff.
The whole, like the fact that we're treating it like a junkyard, like it's just the burial ground where this is where we dump everything. It kind of reminds me of the whole Vietnam stuff where the American Navy was just dumping tech and stuff into the ocean as they're leaving Vietnam and stuff. And I thought, ooh, I wonder if they're building off of that. But no, they gave it the whole NASA space.
Yes, Nemo Point. Yeah. It's this point in the ocean that's farthest away from any land, and that's where they dump they fell all the rockets and all that stuff, and they dump all their ships and stuff. And what a better place to have a space opera under the sea. I thought that was a cool little addition.
Jacques Cousteau once said, like, it's interesting how much money they're spending to try and go to the moon when they haven't. If they spent half that budget looking what's under the surface of the water, they'd be astonished. And this really plays into that. Like, they have no idea what's going on underneath there, and look what's happening. It's good. It's good. Really it was good storytelling.
I like how, like you said, with freedom, with Black Label, they have this extra freedom. So in this book, in this story, they don't know superheroes exist at all. Like, I don't think there's a Superman or anything. Seeing Aquaman was the first sign of anything. They don't know aliens exist, anything. So I think that's like perfect. It's a standalone, works by itself title, and I think we're really going to be the better for it. Cannot wait for issue 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I know Ryan read this and he loved this issue a lot. I want to let him take off on this. That Batman Killing Time issue number 4.
Man, like, I will air like one grievance with this. I cannot stand the way that they have Nuri. Is that the character? The way that this character like keeps dropping F-bombs, but then they're all censored on top of just like being annoyingly formatted. It's just like a very poor choice of use of dialogue in a lot of ways. But everything else about this issue is great. I love I love how the narration's like at whatever time Batman is fighting tigers, and then his first line of dialogue is, "I'm fighting tigers." I was like,
We're talking to Oracle. I'm fighting tigers. You need help? No.
like all that stuff was great. There's a couple of instances of that where like the narration kind of like plays into the dialogue like that. And then like that standoff with the help right there, the tigers are like circling them, and you know they're basically like calling each other out back and forth, and the help's like, "So go ahead, just ask me." He's like, "We're taking my motorcycle."
Yeah.
Like,
I thought that whole thing was cool. Like he's still showing that he's numerous steps ahead of Batman, because he walks up with Batman about to get eaten and he just pokes the tiger and it falls. So showing you that he has the key to not getting hurt by tigers. And then he's willing to stand there in a standoff with Batman circled by tigers. Like, are we going to do this, or are we just going to skip the BS and not let you die? I'll be fine. Do you want to die today, or do you want to just go take care of business together and we'll handle this at the end? And Batman made that line like, "When this is over, I'm taking you down." He's like, "Yeah, that's funny. We'll definitely go for it though." Like
yeah, we're good. I'll let you try.
Yeah, we're gonna do this. Like,
we see the help kind of what's his name, Anton Chigurh from No Country for Old Men, when he's like walking through the town and just like taking people out and getting what he needs. Yeah, so we get like that from the help. So that kind of establishes like his villainy. Then he establishes his dominance over Batman, but he also is willing to admit his deficits. You know, like, I don't really know how to get around here. I didn't study the map well enough. So like, I'll let you help me get around, but at the end of the day, like, you need my help because you can't do this. And then at the same time, we also get to see like Nigma like really be a villain and like a mastermind, you know, like he's outsmarted this like government agency that has like
CIA. I felt
it's definitely, you know, CIA or NSA.
They were the buyers, apparently. Like they meet up with the buyer of the item that they sold that Batman's trying to get, that the help now wants for himself, his retirement plan kind of thing. And it's the government, it's the CIA, which ironically enough, Tom King worked for, didn't he?
Yeah, he was just like a data analyst or something, but yeah.
Still.
Yeah. I feel like he plays into that more than he really is, right? You know, but also we got to see Catwoman be his muscle, and like kind of in a sense again, you know, I don't think we really realized it in the first issue because Killer Croc was there to be the distraction, you know, but this issue really establishes that Catwoman is the muscle of this team and Nigma is the mastermind, and they are on like some kind of crazy mission to do whatever, and they're doing it effectively. So
definitely some bumps along the way. Now,
but I feel like the dialogue in this issue just like really like established a lot of the tension, like between Batman and the help. You got like this great dialogue that was just like full of like this perfect sense of tension. And then again with Nigma and Nuri like sitting in that cafe and stuff, like that tension is there. Like nothing is as it seems, and you get the feeling that nothing is as it seems, but you don't quite know until they really start making the reveals.
Now we are getting some flashbacks of ancient Greece still. We had the one previously, and where we saw the event take place, where it was like the son walked up on the mom and the group or something, and they attacked him and killed him. And then they're playing into the I think it's an actual Greek story where the mother come walking back into town holding the head of her son, thinking that it was the head of a lion that she slayed. And I don't know how that's playing into it yet, or how they're going to connect that, or why they're telling that story at this point. To be honest with you,
Yeah. I'm assuming that's like one of his eyes or something is going to be what they're after. But yeah, I don't really understand like what the connection between the two stories is yet, so we'll see. But I'm assuming it, whatever they're after is some part of this head that was on the stick and all that. And we haven't seen anything. Did we get anything? Yeah, we got a little bit of Penguin in this one.
oh yeah, he woke up and he got up and he's mad that the help took off on his errand and decided to go rogue, and so he's now they're about to be contending with him in the next issue, probably sending his own people to go catch up with Catwoman and the Riddler to claim his prize. You now have 4 separate people after the same prize, 5 counting the CIA. You have the Help, Batman, Catwoman, the Riddler, the Penguin, and the CIA.
And I never took Killer Croc's girlfriend to like be the end of that storyline either. But I don't know. We haven't seen anything out of either of those characters since like the first issue. So maybe I'm wrong on that, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they show up somewhere along the way, like, yo, we were double crossed and this, that, and the other, It just seems like a very intricately woven story to just like have some characters there to forget about after one issue.
We'll see how it plays out. But I'm definitely pumped for the next issue. It's one of the best written stories that are out on the shelves right now. It's really fun. This new Help character has just got me hooked. But y'all got any other ones I want to mention or touch on or anything?
I read Twig number 2. Pretty much par for the course. They introduced like basically one new character and a lot of complications to the story. There's some cool elements to it. There's some stuff where it's like, yeah, this isn't really getting where I want it to be fast enough. So I don't know how long I'll stick around for it, but it was there. I mean, it was okay. Did you read it, Chris?
I haven't been through it yet. I haven't been through it yet. No.
Yeah. I read Where Starships Go To Die, and that one was mildly interesting. It brings up the whole like Nemo Point thing also, and it's a story based on like this spaceship that's supposed to be 5.9 light years from Earth or whatever, and then all of a sudden it just crashes at Point Nemo, and they're like, oh, that's that place where like they bury all the ships because it's like the furthest from like everything that Andromeda gave us. And so I was like, that's just kind of like weirdly coincidental, but all in all, the story was okay. I doubt I'll continue on with that. Dogs of London number 2 was I don't know, kind of reminded me of Savage Avengers number 2. It just felt like more of the first issue. So I doubt I'll continue on that. Astronaut Down number 1 was probably the worst book I read of the week, and I was disappointed in that because it was James Patrick who did Kaiju Score and Campisi, the Dragon Incident. So I was like, oh, this should be interesting. And it's like, okay, there's this work, like, what if the Earth was basically covered in cancer? Like, cancer was just destroying the Earth, right? But there's 11 major cities that have like this bubble around them, and then in a couple of these major cities, the cancer is broken through, and whenever it like gets through, like everybody just basically turns into like green skeletons and dies. Like it eats all their like organic material away or whatever. And so now there's only like 7 major cities left. These astronauts are trying to launch off. They were specifically chosen for this mission. Still have no clue what they're doing, where they're going, why they're going there, what the deal is with this cancer. Like, it felt like 0 answers were given. I did not understand the point of the book. I was like, this is kind of a disaster, if you ask me. So I don't know. Maybe somebody has some answers for me, but I did not understand Astronaut Down for sure. And then Monkey Prince number 5 was phenomenal. They go to I don't know, some Bay City in the DC universe. And, they were in Gotham City starting out, and so they've left there. They got away from Batman and Robin. And, the Marcus, the main character, like his parents were supposedly like henchmen for the Penguin or whatever. And he's like, no. And then they like stop at this gas station on their way out of Gotham, and Superman flies overhead, and like the husband says to the wife, like, hey, step back, like under the awning, as if that's going to protect them from Superman's vision. But then you're like, oh, okay, so maybe they are like bad guys. And then they move into this like harbor city, and they go into this like weird like sewer drain thing, and they meet Black Manta, and they have like a job with him. So now they're henchmen for Black Manta, which was cool to like see him show up twice this week in the DC universe. And then like the Monkey Prince himself gets into a fight with like this demon creature that seems to have a underwater dwelling father of some sort, and the Monkey Prince gets the power pole. So it was a pretty good issue. It really like reinvigorated everything to get it away from Gotham and kind of get all the like overlording of Batman away from it. So I'm actually more interested in that series now than I was before that. And then Batman Beyond Neo Year number 3. This one was baller, man. We got our Matches Malone from Terry McGinnis.
Yes.
His name is
Wow.
Neil Gibson. I don't know if that's as good
Neil
as the
Gibson.
name is Matches Malone, but
Nothing is
yeah.
as good as Matches Malone.
right. But he does a lot of talking about how he misses Bruce and how like Bruce taught him all these things, but he didn't really have time to truly train him. And so he infiltrates like this party, and he wears like a face scrambler sort of thing. And so he comes in, he's like, yeah, my name's Neil Gibson. I'm on the list. And then he's like drinking champagne, and he goes to toast with this girl, and she's like, yeah, I don't toast to water. And then you like kind of realize like, oh yeah, like Bruce taught him, like, don't, you're on the job all the time kind of thing, He like meets up with this chick, he like goes to eat with her, and then things get kind of twisted. So you sort of get, his like kind of like love interest. Her name's Beam. And she's like, yeah, my parents were optimistic. My full name is Sunbeam. They're in Neon Gotham. It's just like all dark and stuff. You're like, damn, that's pretty good. Barbara Gordon, she retired from the police department. And this dude named Donovan Lumos, who is like got fire going on and stuff. He basically like he took over Wayne Powers Enterprises or whatever it's called, and now he's going to basically buy the police force and make them like the baddest thing on the planet to clean up crime in Neo Gotham. So you got that going on. You got Terry McGinnis really learning to be an actual Batman and develop his like investigative and skills and all that kind of stuff. Him making his own connections in the world, and Barbara Gordon's retiring, but probably not now because somebody that she doesn't trust is going to take over the police station. So it got really good. I thought this issue was great, and I'm excited to see more of Batman Beyond Neo Year.
Fire. Chris, you got any you want to knock out?
That's it, guys. There's a handful of books I haven't had a chance to read. Twig is one of them. The new Spawn, and yeah, I don't know if this is going to be worth checking out, but I thought maybe I would. No, okay. And and Venom as well.
That's the last issue too. You might want to read the first 4 before that
with
one.
King the Conqueror in it. Yeah, I don't need to read it though, because you guys went in a deep dive about it.
No, I haven't reviewed any of them because the first 2 were so bad that I just gave them to Finn. He loves because every cover is just like yours, but just featuring a different Ranger. So all 5 issues are sitting in his toy box.
Okay. I think my LCS threw it in for free.
Yeah, I wouldn't. You wouldn't understand anything going on, and it's the last issue of like even people who know Power Rangers have no clue what's going on in it.
Yeah, I read the first one. I gave up after that. I was like, this is
trash. Like I'm not missing a single Power Ranger comic since they came out with them, and I handed Finn those. They're in the house. That's what counts, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's it for me.
Well, I definitely appreciate everybody coming out and hanging out tonight. Appreciate you guys. Shout out to Big Time Collectibles for sponsoring the channel. Be sure to check them out. They're dropping heat this past week. Straight fire. If you need anything cleaned or pressed, to use that promo code We Are Legion with Justin over on Instagram. And also, if you don't already know, for the channel members, we'll be giving away an Ultimate Fallout 4 coming up. So the entries are still going on for that. Yeah, be sure to go back and check out the video with this thumbnail if you want all the individual details on it and all that good stuff. But that's pretty much it for tonight, guys. I appreciate everybody again. And as always, I'm Mark, but we are Legion.